Hi, I'm Mitch Ryan. And yeah, post-budget guys, we were up last night watching and we thought we'd summarise it for Gen Y and just let you know the implications for you and how you'll be affected. I've got with me Shane Light and Bobby Adams, and I guess I'd throw to you, Shane. The new Super Saver account opening up the market for first home buyers. Do you want to run through the mechanics of it and what we can look to, strategies we can look to go for?
Yeah, I think, look, the government's tried this previously, so the Labor government, but this time we now have the ability to use superannuation. So they've been talking about how to use super to encourage first home buyers into the market. So the detail is now that first home buyers can contribute up to $15,000 per annum, but $30,000 max, which will help towards, first home buyers purchasing their first home. The negative of being able to use superannuation, so whether you contribute pre-tax dollars, so concessional contributions, or post-tax, so non-concessional contributions, and these do count towards your contribution caps, will be that it's locked away for 12 months. So for example, the legislation proposed at the moment is in force on the 1st of July 2017. However, you can't make your first withdrawal from the 1st of July 2018. And obviously the bigger advantage is that it's taxed at a 15% tax rate rather than your marginal tax rate if saved outside of super.
Yep. And say you're a couple, can you pool your money together?
Definitely, but not in the one account. So generally you'd have your two super accounts and both couples could both do that. And ultimately, within, let's say, 12 to 24 months, you would have each $30,000 grossed up, because obviously when it's withdrawn, there is a taxable component of that. To go towards your first home buyers grant as well, depending on what federal and state government incentives you're eligible for to purchase a new home.
And Bobby, what are the implications of the money coming out of the Super Saver? How are they treated tax-wise?
Okay, so when it comes out, it's just taxed at your marginal tax rate, like normal, and then you get 30% off that.
Nice. And would you look to use this strategy yourself? Is it something that you'd do?
I would love to. Unfortunately, I've bought my first property already, so I can't. I'm missing out on all these good incentives.
Okay. And so does this property have to be your first home, or can it be an investment?
It does have to be your first home.
Okay. Yeah, nice. And so there was a bit of noise as well, proposed changes for tax on the big banks, Shane. What do you think the implications are for people wanting to buy their first home? Do you think that they'll be slapped with a higher mortgage rate?
Yeah, look, this morning there's been a lot of noise. It's going to be very interesting. The top end of town obviously recouping their money, primarily because the shareholders own the banks, and us as shareholders then, through superannuation accounts and whatnot. But yeah, look, they're definitely looking at ways to recoup that money now, whether they reduce dividends or increase. Unfortunately, there's this way through interest rates, whether it's mortgages, credit cards or whatnot. So it will probably impact consumers. We still don't know how this is going to pan out. The government has said they're going to have the ACCC look at all this quite toughly and in detail over the next couple of days to ensure banks don't act unscrupulously. But I think, it will potentially push a lot of borrowers now to the other banks outside of the top end of the town, because they won't have the same tax obligations slapped on them.
Nice. So increased competition in that area.
I feel, yeah, definitely, which I think is really great outcome for consumers. They just need to have the ounce and the want to go get a better deal out there in the marketplace, where many people just sit on their hands, unfortunately, and just pay the current rate they're paying because they think it's a little bit too hard, or don't have the knowledge or where to start, really, to start finding those savings.
And how do you see the proposed changes in increase, a lot of expenditure in infrastructure and releasing land in Melbourne, in Victoria, do you think that that's going to have a positive influence on the property market?
Yeah, look, definitely. We don't even know how that's going to look yet, but obviously the release of all that land out in the west of Melbourne, only 10 kilometres away, will increase supply, which generally decreases, obviously, sort of the price increases in particular markets. However, we still don't know how that's going to play out, and do people want to move to the west? Yeah, they're talking about 6,000 homes, so we're still not really sure how that's going to play out with the other sectors in the market as well.
And Bobby, uni students hit hard again. How do the new changes to the HECS debt work?
Well, basically, you're going to have to start paying HECS off earlier. So at the moment, if your income is $55,874, that's when you start paying off HECS out of your payroll at 4%. And now it's going to be $42,000 at 1%. Yeah.
And will you have to notify your employer if you are affected and you have a HECS debt, or will that just come out automatically?
So just when you do your TFN declaration when you first start working, you need to tick that box to say you have a HECS debt, and then everything should happen through payroll automatically.
Yeah, Shane, you've been stung before?
Yeah, chopping and changing jobs, been there for a little while, and you go up through the ladder a little bit, and initially you tick no, you don't have to pay it back, or yes, you just don't know. However, I ticked no in this instance, and yeah, later on I got a nice little tax bill.
Nice.
So a little bit of an error there. So just make sure you're looking at your TFN declarations or updating your payroll, specifically to start uni later on.
Yeah. Could there be merit in someone who maybe just ticks over that that bracket into paying HECS, maybe salary sacrificing some of their pay into their new Super Saver account?
Look, we don't actually know how the rules are going to pan out, and with the accounting team, obviously we're both going to have to look at this a little bit more, because yeah, you're right, salary sacrificing does reduce your taxable income. However, we don't know if it's on your actual annual income and they add back the amount you could salary sacrifice in the super. So it's definitely one of those areas that we recommend, once there's a finer detail sort of released to the market, and specifically the accountants, that you do seek professional advice if you're combining both of those strategies together over the next 12 to 24 months.
So a bit of work to do, hey Bobby?
Possibly.
Thanks guys for joining us. Shane, Bobby, you've been awesome. Do you have anything else you'd like to add before we leave?
No, nothing from me. I think it's time to go to the pub.
Thanks guys, and just remember, if you are having trouble interpreting the budget, or you want to know what the implications are for you, make sure you get in touch with us here at the Hopkins Group, and we'll be happy to sit down and go through your individual circumstance. So yeah, cheers guys, thanks for joining me, and yeah, stay in touch.
Thanks, Mitch.